What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be going over how exactly I think it's possible that Red Death is appearing in The Flash Season 9. Now, over the past week, obviously, we have gotten some new set photos of Red Death finally appearing on The Flash, and The Flash Season 9 to be specific. We also got the identity revealed of Red Death, which appears to be a version of Ryan Wilder, aka Batwoman. Now, with that said, I have a few theories as to how all of this is possible. Now, the main theory that a lot of people are coming up with is that this version of Red Death or Batwoman is from a parallel Earth. Now, I think that's definitely possible, seeing as how the Batwoman we have on our Earth, there was no teaser in regard to her becoming Red Death at all. But with that being said, the show was canceled; it wasn't ended. So yeah, and with the show being canceled, I highly doubt they'd finish out the Batwoman storyline by just having her become a villain. I don't think that would really make any sense. So yeah, I think this is likely going to be a parallel Earth version of Batwoman, or the Red Death. But here's the thing, if this is going to be a parallel Earth version of the Red Death, we have to consider that maybe she was never Batwoman ever. She's only ever been the Red Death. I think that's definitely possible. Is it likely? Not exactly, but I think, it's something we have to consider just because of, the multiverse and the different possibilities that can happen on different Earths. Speaking of the multiverse, if this is, going to be a multiverse situation with Red Death, that would definitely mean that Team Flash would finally figure out the multiverse again, which for some reason they've been avoiding the past few years, so that could be really interesting as well. Now, I do think it's more likely that it's going to be a parallel Earth version of Red Death. However, if this is going to be Earth Prime's version of Batwoman who has somehow become Red Death, I have a few theories as to how that's possible. The first one is that she has been taken over by the negative Speed Force. Now, how exactly could that happen? I don't really know. Maybe there's maybe there's something to do with the Reverse Flash. Maybe they can somehow connect that to Season 8. Be like, the Reverse Flash is the negative Speed Force avatar, and now they need a new one, so they chose Batwoman to become the Red Death. Something like that, I think, could definitely happen there. I think that's very possible, actually. Yeah, I think that's possible in terms of just it. If it's going to be Earth Prime's version of Batwoman, which I personally don't think is going to be more possible. But anyways, another version, or another way rather, of how Red Death could actually end up being Batwoman is if Red Death is from the future. Now, we don't know what happens in the future. We saw in Armageddon, Batwoman was apparently still a hero in the future. But depending on when Batwoman, or this version of Red Death's from, that could definitely change. Now, guys, like I said, in 2031, Batwoman is apparently still a hero, but that future was from Thawne's Reverse Flashpoint. So who knows? Maybe now that the timeline's been restored, maybe Batwoman somehow, maybe it's like a Savitar situation. She falls so far into the dark, like maybe someone, like one of the characters on Batwoman, like maybe Luke Fox dies or something like that, and she goes crazy and becomes the Red Death and somehow becomes a speedster, something like that. I think, they could kind of explain. But like I said, I think it's definitely more possible that this could be a parallel Earth version of Batwoman, aka Red Death, instead of an Earth Prime version. But with Javicia Leslie, you kind of have to wonder, why wouldn't they just end off the Batwoman show? So that's another reason why it could be possible that this is an Earth Prime version. But like I said, like a lot in this video, I think it's going to be a parallel Earth version. Now, guys, something else that I think is definitely worth mentioning is in the scene with the Red Death versus the Flash, we also have a very unexpected character appear, and that is actually Rainbow Raider from Season 1. Now, this is kind of interesting because if you remember, Rainbow Raider was able to make Barry turn evil or angry. So maybe something similar is happening here with Batwoman. I think that's entirely possible. Maybe the negative Speed Force selects her as the next avatar, but she's like, no, I don't want that. But then Rainbow Raider comes in and turns her evil, and then turns her into the Red Death. I think that could definitely make sense. And if they are planning on doing a Rogues thing to start the season, I think that would be a fantastic way to transition into maybe a Red Death main villain storyline, using the Rogues to create the Red Death. I think that would make a lot of sense, and that would definitely be pretty smart. But I think it's still possible that it's going to be a parallel Earth version of Red Death. But nonetheless, a lot of people are also pretty upset about who they chose to play Red Death. I'm not exactly that upset, just because they're trying to go as comic book accurate as possible, using a bat person as the avatar for Red Death. You know, they don't have Batman to use, so they can't really do the super comic book accurate version. But I still think that, you know, this isn't the worst thing in the world to see. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as your own theories about Red Death. What do you guys think's going on here? How do you think Red Death's even here, like, at all? Just comment all that stuff down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.